Being a genuinely helpful person is a terrible career strategy. The data is clear. The people who give the most, who help without asking, who stay late for others, often end up at the bottom of the performance ladder. Yet, the people at the very top are also disproportionately givers. Both sides of this paradox have mountains of evidence, and smart people are violently divided on what it means. So, where do you stand? By the end of this, the very definition of helping might feel different. The argument for pure generosity is almost a morality tale. It's built on the power of long-term reputation and deep, authentic trust. In a world of transactions, the person who gives without an agenda becomes a fixed point of reliability. Think of the senior engineer who spends hours mentoring junior developers, even when it means their own project slows down. They aren't closing more tickets today. They're building a culture. That culture of psychological safety, where asking for help is encouraged, is where innovation happens. It's where difficult problems get solved, because people feel safe enough to admit they don't have the answer alone. This person becomes a gravity well for talent. The best people want to work with them. When a crisis hits, who gets the first call for help? The person who has a history of giving it freely. Over a decade, their network becomes an army of allies built one act of unselfish help at a time. It's a slow burn strategy. It pays dividends in career opportunities you never even see coming because they happen in rooms you aren't in. People vouch for you. They fight for you. Why? Because you've proven you're playing for the whole team, not just for your own stat sheet. This seems like the obvious path to a meaningful and successful career. A long game that builds something more valuable than a quick promotion. That sounds convincing, but there's a problem. A big one. For every giver who reaches the top, there are dozens who burn out at the bottom. They become the office doormat. They are so helpful that their own priorities constantly get pushed aside. Their days are filled with just a quick question from colleagues that turn into hour-long detours. They are saddled with the unglamorous office housework, organizing the shared drive, taking notes in every meeting, onboarding the new hire. These tasks are essential. They are also invisible when it comes time for performance reviews. This person is a pathological altruist. Their inability to say no is a weakness that others, consciously or not, exploit. Takers, the people who are always looking for what they can get, have an almost supernatural ability to sniff out these givers. They drain their time and energy, offering little in return. The giver's own work suffers, their deadlines slip, their stress rises. They see the takers and matchers, those who keep a careful score of favors, climbing the ladder while they're stuck answering everyone else's emails. Eventually, they become disillusioned. Their generosity sours into resentment. They either quit or they become a cautionary tale, a ghost. The one everyone points to when they say, "See, that's what happens when you're too nice." So if pure, unconditional giving is a recipe for burnout, is the answer to become a cynical bookkeeper of favors? A matcher who only gives when they can see a clear path to a return? That leads us to the strategic giver. This is the model that seems to solve the paradox. These are the givers who make it to the top. They are generous, but they have boundaries. They are playing the long game, but they also understand the short-term realities of self-preservation. Their philosophy is simple. Be generous by default, but protect your time and energy as your most valuable assets. How does this look in practice? A strategic giver might block out deep work time in their calendar and politely decline interruptions. They will help a colleague, but they might say, "I can give you 30 minutes this afternoon." They set a limit. They also learn to spot the takers. After helping someone once or twice with no reciprocity or even gratitude, they quietly stop making themselves available to that person. They redirect their generosity toward other givers and matchers. It's a form of social triage. They focus their helping efforts on people and projects where their contribution can make the most difference. This isn't about being selfish. It's about sustainability. It's the difference between a charity that gives away all its money on day one and goes bankrupt, and a foundation that invests its capital to generate returns it can give away forever. The strategic giver understands that their ability to help tomorrow depends on protecting their resources today. They are willing to do a 5-minute favor for anyone. A 50-hour favor, that is reserved for a select few. They give, but they give wisely. This approach seems to be the best of both worlds, the reputation of a giver with the self-protection of a matcher. And yet, this model has its own blind spot, a flaw hidden in plain sight. The moment your giving becomes purely strategic, it risks losing the very quality that makes it powerful: authenticity. People are incredibly skilled at detecting the difference between genuine help and a calculated transaction disguised as help. If someone senses you are helping them because you see them as a useful pawn in your career chess game, the trust you hope to build evaporates, the favor is received, a polite thank you is offered, but no real loyalty is created. You risk building a network of other strategic matchers, a web of people who all think, what's in it for me? This can be effective for a while. You can trade favors and climb together, but it's a brittle alliance. The moment you are no longer useful, the help dries up. There is no deep reservoir of goodwill to draw from in a true crisis. The creative magic of a giver culture, where people share ideas freely without worrying about who gets the credit, is impossible to sustain. It becomes a guarded transactional environment. You've optimized yourself out of the very ecosystem that produces breakthrough results. This is the core tension. If you give unconditionally, you risk burnout. If you give strategically, you risk becoming a transaction broker. Both paths are flawed. Both miss the real, counterintuitive engine that drives the success of the most effective givers. The secret has almost nothing to do with what the other person gets from your help. It's about what you get. The real benefit of helping someone is cognitive. It's a selfish act disguised as a selfless one. When you have to teach a concept to someone else, you are forced to clarify it in your own mind. You might think you understand a subject, but the first time you try to explain it to a beginner, you discover all the gaps in your own knowledge. You have to break it down, find an analogy, anticipate their questions. This process of teaching is one of the most powerful forms of learning. It's called the Protégé Effect. By explaining the system to the junior developer, the senior engineer isn't just helping them, they are rehearsing their own knowledge, strengthening their mental models, and often seeing the system in a new way through the beginner's eyes. When you help someone solve a problem outside your normal duties, you get a cross-functional tour of the organization. You learn about challenges in other departments you would never otherwise encounter. You are exposed to different ways of thinking, different vocabularies, different incentive structures. This is a form of intelligence gathering. Each act of helping is a micro-internship in someone else's job. It expands your perspective. It makes you a more effective problem solver because you start to see the entire system, not just your little corner of it. The person who is constantly distracted by helping others is often the only one who actually knows how everything connects. They are the human API for the company. Imagine you help a colleague from marketing craft a survey. You might learn about customer segmentation, or you help the finance team with a spreadsheet, and you accidentally learn about budget cycles. These inputs seem random, but over time they accumulate. You start to connect dots that no one else can see. Your brain becomes a repository of unique interdisciplinary knowledge. This is what generates real insight, the kind of insight that can't be gained by simply staying in your lane and optimizing your own tasks. The success that follows is a byproduct of this expanded capability. You get promoted because you understand the business at a deeper level. You solve the hard problems because you can draw on a wider library of mental models. You lead better because you have genuine empathy for the challenges faced by different parts of the organization. The reputation and the network are real benefits. They are secondary. The primary driver is the personal growth that helping forces upon you. You are not helping others to get something from them later. You are helping others to become a more capable version of yourself right now. The act of giving is the reward. This reframes the entire debate. The burnout of the pure giver comes from helping in low-growth ways, repetitive administrative tasks that teach nothing. The successful giver instinctively gravitates toward helping in high-growth ways. They help with complex problems. They teach. They connect people. They see helping as a form of learning. Their strategy is not about managing social credits. It's about optimizing their own learning by solving interesting problems wherever those problems may be found. They are knowledge seekers who use generosity as their search engine. They understand that the fastest way to get smarter is to make the people around you smarter. So where does this leave us? The old model of give and you shall receive feels incomplete. The mechanism is far more personal and immediate. Helping builds a reputation, that's true, and doing it without boundaries leads to ruin. But The core of it, the engine of success, appears to be a learning machine powered by generosity. It suggests the most valuable career asset you can build is not your list of accomplishments, it's the collective capability of the people you have helped. So, what do you think? When you decide whether to help someone at work, what is the calculation in your head? Are you building a long-term network? Are you protecting your time from being wasted? Or are you hunting for an opportunity to learn something new, even if it comes at a short-term cost? Where do you draw the line between generosity, self-preservation, and a hunger for growth?